Hello, and welcome back to my channel. Welcome to my channel. My name is Jack Blade, and today we're playing Satisfactory, and we're looking at a tips and tricks video. We're going to be going over how to actually plan out a rail line going from point A to point B, and what different types of rail lines that you can build depending on what your need is. And yeah, if you do like this video, remember to leave a like, subscribe, share the video, make sure that it spreads around. Like it's the holiday times, let's be generous and share around. So I want to just get into this, and hopefully it is a valuable video. Alright, I'm making a little bit of an assumption today for this video, and I want to get into that first. I assume that you have watched the two previous videos that I've made on rail lines. One of them is like the absolute basic guide, and the other one where I go into a little bit about curves, about slopes, and how to like draw curves and all that kind of stuff. And so I won't be going into too much detail on that. I will be focusing on how to specifically make sure that the rail line is set up properly from point A to point B, and that it works even though it can get a little bit complicated or complex and have a lot of trains and intersections and stuff like that. So this is essentially like a follow-up to those two first videos, and I will leave them linked in the comment section or in the link pinned comment, and I will also leave them in the description of the video so that you guys can find them. All right, now let's get into this. So we're going to first look at what types of stations we can build, because everything is based on your stations. So what we do have here is we have the normal stations here, right? This is how you normally think to build. And if you watch my videos and if you listen to others, they tell you 4 freight stations is the maximum. Once you hit the 4, you need either another locomotive or whatever it is, right? So it tends to be that you do this, and if you need more like import or output, like input output, you just add another station next to this and another station and another station. So you might have like 8 of these, like 4 long, like going off in the distance. But basically this is a single one called AB in, and then is AB out, and this is what we're going to be looking at later down the line, but for the actual building of the rail line. But for now, we're looking at what another type would be, and we're looking at this. This is a push-pull station. So with that, we're looking at a type of train that can go back and forth on one line, so you don't need turnaround points or anything for it. I have an example of that up here running, where I have a single station where 2 trains come in, and you can see I have locomotives on both ends, like this. And that is because they do push and pull. So once it's done its thing in the station in here, this train will just back out of here, or like this will be the front then, and then it will go out and go over just like that. Just like that train is doing right now. So that's a push-pull method of the train. And then of course you have the long trains, in which case, like in this case, I have doubled up so that there's 8 over here. And the thing is, in slopes and stuff, these trains slow down significantly, which means that you're kind of locked to a single like plane of building. So if you want to build longer stations, they have to be on the same level. You can't go vertical, and you can't go like it's slope in general. So what we tend to do is we do this. We go and we add in our 8 what's it called, cars here, and each car has its own station, right? And then I've just to make sure that it's visible and easy to understand, I need to go out here a little bit and make sure that you can see. So the last car here, I can make another locomotive, and instead you see this one is like pointing out, so it would be driving this direction, and we wanted to go that direction, same as this locomotive. And then we just scroll mouse wheel, boom. Now it will be pushing while the front one will be pulling. So this one will help out and make sure that you can still run 8 cars and it will work. You could also alternatively have on the front, you could do this, where you add it like so. Either way, you need 2 locomotives. That's all I'm saying. And this is like my method tends to be have one there that pushes and one here that pulls. And I tend to be building these stations, but I like these a lot for like single station back and forth. They don't need to communicate a lot. There's not a lot of complex intersections and stuff like that. I love these ones. But this one, I feel like it takes up a lot of space on the rail line. It's very easy for this to plug up and create traffic blockage. I feel like these are the most versatile when you're using a lot of trains and have a lot of places that you need to intersect with, and you have a very large rail network. With the normal ones here with 4 stations, and then you have an in and you have an out station and all that kind of stuff. So we need to look at how you actually plan this. And what I will explain, I will go through exactly how I've set this up and what we are simulating and all that kind of stuff. But I really want to first point out that there's 10,000 different ways of building the in-betweens, between different stations. And I'm not going to fault anyone for using any methods they want to. I'm going to be building with this because it is very easy and clear to show off on a top-down kind of way for you guys. So that's what I'm going to be doing. Now, let's get into how to actually plan out the rail line. What do you need to think about, and how many cars do you need? How many trains do you need? That is also something we need to figure out. So you can start from 2 directions, technically. You can start with the end point, which is going to be this one. This here is called AB destination. And in the end, we will have this is the factory endpoint, so to speak, where these are simulating factory and storage and all that kind of stuff, or it's being used and sent onward to different things. And this here is technically the first processing. So AB in will be where the ore comes in. This is technically the factory. It's being processed, and it's ingots or some other basic part or intermediate part. And then we send that on to be sent on from AB out onto the destination over there. And we need to pick stuff up from over there. I haven't renamed those yet, but we're gonna get into that. So we need to set up the stations, or the stations are set up. We just need to name them, we need to connect them up, and we need to make sure that the signals work in a way that doesn't cause blockages or crashes. And then we have a nailed down train system. And that's what we want, right? We will start with creating the intersection here, because that's an easy thing. I've shown you how to do this before in the former videos, and we will be going through this very, very quickly on camera. All right, so as we know, we need to have a 2, 3, then 2, 3 to make a curve that is 90 degrees. So we're going to be doing that. And the way we do this is very simple. We go like this, boom, and we're gonna do this, boom. We're doing right-hand traffic, by the way, so this train will be able to turn here, and it will also be able to go... I clicked something wrong there. There we go. And it's being a little... There we go. And we also need to make sure that it can continue straight on from here, right? But at the same time, we need to make sure that this train can turn right, or rather this train can turn left. So we will just connect up here and go in here, right? And then we will take this, because we need this train to be able to turn left, and connect that up here. Boom. Like so. Very simple. Looking good. We have an intersection. We need to set up signals, but we're going to be doing that a little bit later. So that's our first step. Our next step is we need to get up here to this station so that we can deliver the goods. And something that is quite simple for people to, like, I tend to use this as an example. If I want to start an upslope, and this is a method that is quite simple to have as a rule, I always start with placing a single 1 meter foundation like this. Then I go and I place 2 meter ramps like this. And then I go up to the level I want to go. Ta-da! And connect here. The reason why I do this little step here is because when I pull this up, boom, as you can see, it becomes a very nice smooth curve that goes up. There's no muss, no fuss, and it is smooth as all hell. Same thing here, and I can honestly say I was just lucky that it perfectly aligned with the top there, with the height of the 4 meters. That's just very, very lucky. Now, something that I will do here is I will always, if you look at my, like, I'm gonna lock it in here so you can look. You see that the curve is a little bit weird, wonky here? By basically looking at that, I can tell how I am too far. And you can see it starts clipping through there. I don't like that clipping, right? So something that I can do here is, okay, I can go a little bit closer. Or I can start from the top. What I'm going to do is start from the top. So I'm probably going to start here. Not on the line, 1, 2 steps in, like this. And then I can go down and see if I can get a nice curve. There, and then I can just snap that in. And do the same thing over here. Those are identical curves on our railway. Very, very nice, very smooth curves, minimal clipping, and that's the way I want it. So now that we have our slope, we need to connect that in here. There we go. That way, we now have our first station perfectly aligned and pulled in here, so we can see how it's going to connect up with our output here, which is very, very nice. Now we need to look at the resource input. So we need to look over here and we need to align this, because these are not on the same height or anything. So what we can do, very simple way here, we can do this in different ways, right? But I am going to do a little bit of a cheeky thing here and just do this so that I can see where they start and the end. There. So this is what we're gonna do with this slope, just for the funsies of it. There we go. And like that, we have our perfect slope coming here as well, where you don't have to think about clipping or anything like that at all, because it's already taken care of by the track being floating there. And now we have like connected up everything here. And here's a really fun part as well. I'm like creating all the power with these alien power amplificators. So if we look in here, you can see that there's a lot of power. All of these tracks are also powered now. Everything that's connected up to them is powered, because I've connected this into the rail line, and everything that is connected via the rail is now also powered. The power here is connected and comes out from this, and they are currently mining. As you can see, iron is coming in here. I have a little bit of a load balancing system to make sure that each line here gets 450 on each side. There's 3 times 600 on each side here. That's what we're going to be looking at, transferring fast enough that we actually have all of the resources at the end where we want them to be. We have the input coming in and buffer inputs, and I've done the same thing over there. There are buffering on the inputs. There's buffers on the outputs over here. There's buffers everywhere, because they are really important. Now, let's actually set this up so that it works the way that it should. And we're looking then specifically at the signal system. All right, So this is a quite complex intersection with like queue lines and all that kind of stuff. So what I want to show is how it works, and I'm gonna use this intersection as the go-to showcase here, because every single path in needs to have a path signal. It can't use a block signal. That's gonna mess everything up. Trains are gonna crash here, or they're gonna queue up here, like not drive. And worst part is if you have a train that queues up here, a train that queues up there, and a train that queues up here, because, or one that is in the middle, but they can't pass for some other reason. Like there's another train outside this queue also stuck somewhere. You're screwed. So path signals helps with that, because they plan the path for the train. They check the path in all directions for all the blocks in front of it and sees, hey, which one is free that can still get to your destination. At least that's how I understand them, and that's how I'm using them. So path signals get you very quickly through, and then out I have block signals, and I have created a queue block here by setting up these 3 lines with block signals on each part. So if one of these is green and this path signal says, hey, one of those are green and there's a train here, it can go in either one of these, and it's going to go probably straight ahead or to the right. I am not sure, I haven't tried that yet, but it's going to go. And if there's a train already like in here, I'm actually going to do this. I'm gonna remove you. I don't know why these are messing up. What are you? You're a path signals. Entry signal type. That's a block signal. Okay, sorry, you need to be a path signal too. There we go, now that works. So there's always fun stuff going on and figuring out like how this works. And that's not even the correct way. Why is that? That should be a block signal, but in that direction. I'm silly me, silly goose. So what you got here now is the waiting block. So if one of these are taken, or the station is taken and there's a second train, it will stop here and wait. But the other 2 will still be green. So if there comes a third train and that one's still not done and this one's not free, it will go in here and wait. And then it can wait, so there can be up to 4 trains queued here. Which is its own problem, yes. But it's better to make sure that you have resources coming into your factory fast enough than it is to have trains stuck, so to speak. Or to have resources like machines stopping, sorry, and not the train stuck, machines stuck. But yeah, then they go in here, they release all of their goodies, and then over here, we're gonna have a train, one of those trains, we're gonna be running in here to pick stuff up, right? So it's gonna drop stuff off, and then it's gonna go in here, and it's gonna pick stuff up, and it's going to go along here, path signal here, turn right, up, and it's going to go in here, drop its goodies off again, head on down, and then it will continue to the right to pick up resources. Because we will be running 4 trains total on this line. And I will tell you why in a second. But first, we're gonna finish up with the rest of the signals over here. So we're gonna set up all the block signals and path signals, because once again, complex intersection, or this is not necessarily a complex intersection, but you know what I mean. The important part here is making sure that the trains don't crash when they overlap here, and then when they go out and they come in here, we need to make sure that the trains don't crash here. And this line, I've made sure that there is no clipping. The trains can run here without touching the rail line or each other. So it's going to be fine. I'm just going to set that line up and we will come back in a second. Alright, there we go. Now, let me just tell you about the block distance here. Okay, so in this block, it starts over here and it goes all the way over here. 11 blocks. And the reason why I've made it as long as I have is because we will be working with trains that are 1 car or 4 cars and 1 locomotive long. And if we look at how long that is here, we're just adding this in. Can you be chill here and work with me? There. And as you can see, this is just barely fitting within that block. and we will have 4 of these trains running along. So we need to basically make sure that each block can fit that entire train. And the shorter train you have on the longer railroads, and the more trains you have on, the shorter they need to be. And the reason for that is so that your train, if you have multiple trains running just behind each other, that they don't stop and wait at every block signal because the train in front is not out of the rest of the block. Like that, at that point it's smarter to do this, even if it's like the wrong like train length, because that means that when the train has passed, like let's say here, or like if I like, no matter how small I make them, right? But we'll be working with 4 trains on this. It's not going to be a problem. If it is, we just add in more block signals, right? So that's 2 of our trains, and we need another 2 trains. So I'm going to add one of them here, right? No problem. That's 1. And I'm going to add another one here. And the reason for that is I want to have kind of have them like interspersed along the entire rail so that they don't run into each other if they don't absolutely have to. And 4 trains up in there, and now we just need to set them up. And I've already shown how to do that, but I'm gonna go do a very quick thing here. I'm just gonna rename the trains first of all. That's the gimme. And then I'm gonna rename this AB1. Right? I'm gonna rename the other one this here. Oh, I keep ramping in and out. AB2. And then over here we will have AB3. And the final train going to be AB4. Alright, so now all of our trains are set up. Now what we want to do is turn on self-driving. All of their next stations are AB in, so it's kind of chaotic, but the entire point is that they will be able to sort that out. So we're gonna turn on self-driving for all the trains. So what's going to happen now, all the trains are gonna start running, and it's most likely they're going to run around, not stop at any stations, and just try to get to AB1. As you can see, all of them are turning around, all of them are trying to get in here. What I will be doing now is just wait for a little bit, and we will see how this balances out once it's all up and running and like there's ore saturation everywhere. Alright, so I've been looking around and I've been like, it's been balancing out a little bit. Something that I'm noticing is that we're not transferring out fast enough. So, and I also can't get my queue system to work. Like, I've made it work before, I just can't remember how I did it. If someone remembers how to like set up this queue system so that it actually works, then please leave a comment. Either way, what we need to do, because we have AB1 going here, right? This train AB1. What we need to do is we need to divert a second train, and I'm going to grab AB3. So AB3 will now edit your timetable, and we will add AB out and AB destination. Alright, so aside from my failed queue system there, this is working perfectly. It's doing exactly what it should be doing, and it's doing it fast enough. And you can play around with the timings and all of that kind of stuff to get this to work correctly. I might be using too many trains, I might be using too few trains, and those are things that you need to experiment for your specific setup. But I hope that this video actually helped you figure out what you, like how you can set things up for yourself in terms of getting to A to B. Like, I've shown a lot of like how to do the curves, I've shown how to set up the train timetables and like all that kind of stuff. But to actually plan something a little bit more complex, where you pick up from multiple stations, you drop off on a single station, pick up on one station and move to a different factory, that's a bit of a more complex system, that you need to balance from a lot more points. So it takes a little bit more work, but once it's up and running, it's incredibly easy. And as you guys know, it's very easy for me to expand from this. I can very easily just pull another curve out from there and go the other direction. So I have two output or two destination stations, or I can go and add another delivery station over there to make sure that I have enough of that, or another out station, or I can go over there and connect up, like there's copper and limestone over there, I might connect that up. Whatever it is, it's very easy once you have this initial railway set up to expand on it, which is the entire point, right? So hopefully you guys have enjoyed this video. Hopefully you found some value in it. If you did, like, subscribe, leave comments, join the Discord if you want to chat. And yeah, I really enjoyed making this video. It's really fun. I spent like 4 hours building this stuff and troubleshooting and having like testing different things with the queue system not functioning. I have an idea that might work on that part, but we'll see. I have an idea for the queue system. I might put that in a different video, experimentation with that, and see if I can figure it out on camera, on video. And then if that works, you guys can very happily take that and run with it. For now though, I'm signing off, and choo choo to you. Have a good day. Bye!